Okay, so we're back in open session at, looks like 7:24. And just to remind everybody again that this is being recorded. All right, so what is the wish of the board? And anybody care to make a motion or?
Just writing it out.
Okay. Cooler in here than it was out there.
Yes. All right, I move to adopt the order of taking in the form presented to take easements in the portions of Eagle Drive, Fairview Avenue, and Joseph Street as described therein, and to award zero damages for the easements so taken, contingent on receiving assurance in writing that the town will assume all costs and legal responsibilities that may come from such taking.
Did you say temporary? I didn't hear it.
Yeah, that's not listed in there, so that's a temporary.
Yeah, it is, it is a temporary. Is there a second?
The temporary easement for 1 year. If we had it written
Right.
as 2, but we'll reduce it to 1 year.
Okay.
Can you read it one more time, just so I can be sure I got everything, please?
I can give it to you if you want.
That's fine. I just want to be sure I didn't miss it.
Okay, is there a second? Second? Okay, any discussion on that? Any discussion from the board? Okay, any I know there's folks here, and I recognize some of you. I understand that you're from up in that neighborhood. Do you have any comments or discussions or any, David? Please identify, if you could, for just for ease of our administrative assistant for taking the notes. Could you just sign in on the sheet that's there on the table?
Bergen, 68 Eagle Drive. Could you clarify the motion that you just made?
It was a,
This motion is to allow for the, for contractors to go, just to access the road and to do surveying and such, to drill approximately 2-inch borings just to test the geological structure under the.
Have you contacted either of the owners of the road?
I do not know if the owners.
Mr.
have-
Petrinos, you said that they were unresponsive during that, when Mary Jude was here for the BOS in September. You said that the owners of the road are being unresponsive and giving you a hard time. Could you clarify that one? Did you talk to these guys?
I don't know where you got that from. I didn't.
You said that. You said,
As far as
you
I'm
didn't say that?
responsible. as far as
September 2024, you didn't say that? No? Okay.
okay, if what,
So-
go ahead.
Have you guys contacted the owners of the road, Ted Shinaki or Greg Shinaki?
We personally have not, no.
You're planning on just taking their road and doing what?
What is it, what this is to do is to allow, under Mass General Law,
Chapter 40, Section 39B.
Chapter 40, Section 39B, to take a temporary easement
For 1 year.
for 1 year to allow our engineer, the engineering firm and their contractors to go on the road, to access the area, to do surveying, and to bore approximately, you can see there are some of them from our current easement.
Right.
Near the Pollard Lane area, there you'll see there's some 2-inch borings there.
Yeah, for the sewer
Borings
easement.
similar to that, they go down about 6 feet to see what's under the road in order to know what kind of work would be taken if and when it went out to bid.
And you're planning on compensating them somehow?
There, in that order of taking, there is zero, an award of 0 damages because there won't be any damages.
You're gonna be,
It's just for trucks to drive on, cars and trucks to drive on the road. And so they can do some surveying and
and
some
you're just
small
gonna
drilling.
take this without any permission from them?
It is, and under the law, it.
And you said you're gonna be drilling holes, so that
for-
you're gonna be drilling holes into the
Yes.
road?
Yes.
Okay, so that's not just cars driving over it, right?
Nope,
You're gonna be compensating for that?
no.
And you've already trespassed on this road to take your preliminary thing for the
The road is
concept
open to
memorandum?
public, it's
not
not gated, it's open to public access. If I want to go up and visit someone up in that neighborhood, I don't have to have permission to go visit. I don't, they're,
Well, you're not just going to visit somebody on the road, you're going in there and
the
drilling holes
road
into
is
the road?
accessible to the public.
You're going in
Gated community.
and drilling holes into the road, though,
Mm-hmm.
correct?
Right.
Is,
They may be off on the,
and if you did that for the town, you would have to pay an easement? You'd- A $12,000, or is it $1,200 open road?
Trench permit?
the road opening permit, the project itself is still under the control of the Board of Selectmen and the municipal government.
Is-
They would be responsible for paying any road opening fees or waiving them, whichever. That's up to them.
This ECSDC grant that you guys were awarded? Mm-hmm. That was, you guys voted on that?
No, we did not. That was.
Town voted on that.
That was
Right, but it was
that
awarded to
applied
the
for.
water department.
That was applied for by the engineers that are engineering for the town of Dudley. They also engineer for us. They applied for it on our behalf and were awarded it.
When did you guys
our
vote on
behalf.
that?
Huh?
You said on your behalf, you guys, as a board, voted on that, or is that a open
Well,
meeting?
the town hired them for that, yes.
The town hired them, or is the water
Town
department?
hired them for
It's-
that-
It's awarded to the water department.
For the purposes of this project, the town hired them, yes.
You're a separate entity from the town?
We are a municipal department.
You are
We are a part of the town of
separate
Dudley.
entity, though.
We are a part of the town of Dudley that
You're an
has
enterprise,
certain.
Scott? Are you an enterprise or not?
We are an enterprise, which is
You guys didn't vote on this grant? If I would come in here as the clerk of the Board of Assessors and took out a grant for you guys, would you be all right with that? If I was here as the clerk of the planning board, would you guys be all right with me taking out?
the Board of Selectmen has the authority to apply for.
The Board of Selectmen is an elected board, you guys are an elected board, there's two separate
And
entities.
they have the authority to apply for a grant under law, state law.
They didn't.
They did.
The Water Department did, and John Ruda did, not the Board of Selectmen.
I don't think John Ruda has the authority by himself. He's
That's what I
granted that.
thought too.
he's
But
granted
he's
that
the
authority
procurement officer, and he said that
As
he
the
does.
procurement officer assigned by the Board of Selectmen.
Right.
So the Board of Selectmen have the ultimate authority. They delegated that.
They
to-
didn't have any authority in the grant. It's the Water Department, and it's John Ruda.
We have no procurement authority. That's, the authority is through.
You guys also didn't vote on it.
Every grant that we've received, the loans we've taken through the SRF have all been signed by the procurement officer,
Right. But you've got.
under our
And you
advisement.
guys have taken out this grant, you've been awarded this grant. Are you telling Ty and Bond how to pay for this grant?
It's not our grant.
It's 100% your grant. This grant
David,
cannot be
I'm not
awarded
gonna-
to anybody but a public water supplier. That's you guys. Do you agree?
You're correct. SRF has to go through a public water supply.
Not the SRF, though, the ECSDS grant.
That's,
The economic, no, it's not economic, it's emerging contaminants in small development communities grant. That has to go through the water department.
It has to go to a public utility.
It has to go through the public water supplier.
Right, the public utility, yes.
And you guys didn't vote on this, and you guys haven't voted on how to spend this, correct? Because this is a grant that you guys could use to find more water in West Dudley. You can use this grant to test these waters.
It was applied for specifically, and it says in the grant specifically what it's used for.
But without
And
that
that was to,
knowledge.
that was to use to
Without your knowledge,
mitigate.
Scott.
Huh?
Without your knowledge.
We knew about it.
Secret then. Open meeting law violation, correct?
Feel free.
Okay. That's all I got.
Hi, my name is Eva Hanatsky. Obviously, same last name, Uncle. My father, Ted, the property owners in question. As David reiterated, we haven't been notified about any of this. I know there's some dispute about who owns the road, and it's kind of laughable considering that Greg and Ted have been maintaining the road for 30-plus years. So, and I also understand that there was silence when it came to, well, if we don't own the road, who owns the road? So there are significant issues here. I am an attorney at law. I will say that we will be getting outside counsel, but for the purposes of this meeting, specifically, I'm kind of confused as to why there are 0 damages. If you're drilling holes into the road and it's a private road and damaging the road, then it can constitute a taking, which by the Constitution, we are allowed to just compensation for that, for the loss of the use of it. So I am a little bit confused about that.
Okay, if you dispute the,
And I'm not really sure if you are aware that there was a court judgment that Fairview Ave was no trespassing order, and that was entered into a number of years ago as well. So, and I know that's been an issue with the plowing and Pollard Lane and what have you. My position is, again, you're drilling holes into the road. I'm not privy to what that actually entails, but in my mind, that's damaging the road, and that's also impacting the personal property ownership
if you
of the road.
dispute the award of damages, you have the right to dispute that.
Well,
You can file to dispute that, and that will be litigated.
yes, but I'm also confused.
If you're a lawyer, then you would know that.
Right, I appreciate that. However, there's been absolutely no notification provided to Mr. Hanatskis. We heard about this last minute. I know there's been discussion about, again, the road. It just seems that this is completely backwards. I'm just confused if this is going to be a takings. Per what the agenda said, the notification needs to actually be provided to the owners of the property, which, are you even aware who owns that area? It seems like there's confusion about that as well.
We do know who owns each one of the pieces of property, and it's
So
part of the
have-
taking.
Anything been provided?
That is in the hands of the lawyers that are the lawyers, and we're talking about strictly gaining access, and we have the right under the stated
Right, and we
chapter
have the
to
right
do
to
that.
just compensation for loss of the use of the
And you
property.
have, and if you.
And I'm just confused if it is a taking underneath the takings clause, even if it's temporary easement, why were we not even provided notification?
That I do
And now
not.
you voted on it to go ahead, oh, this is great and dandy, let's go drill holes in this road, and there's been no notification provided at all. Again, I'm not an expert in eminent domain and takings, definitely confer to someone that is, but this seems completely backwards, and I appreciate 0 damages in your mind. My issue is right now that there's been no notification provided regarding any of this.
And that,
It's either it's a private road or it's not a private road, we own it or we don't. Hey, if you're claiming, the town of Dudley is claiming we don't own the road, then who's been maintaining it for 30-plus years? That's ridiculous. So, again, this seems like it will have to, obviously, you're saying dispute it, that's our only recourse. We're not getting clearances about any of this.
I don't think the town is saying you don't own the road.
That's literally what they said. Didn't they say that at a meeting? That's how you're getting out of having to pay just compensation for the road that they have been maintaining for 30-plus years.
that was their meeting when all of that was said. We're not disputing who owns the road. We're depending on our legal representation to tell us from Register of Deeds, this is what they've got. I don't know, I'm not a lawyer either.
So where are you drilling on the road? Where on the road? It's that extension into into Fairview? Like, that's what we're confused about. We have we don't know anything about this. From our knowledge, it's a private road. For Fairview Ave.
You will get notification of all of this.
When will we get notification of
As
this?
soon as it's filed.
Okay. And at that point, it's already gonna be drilled and done without providing prior notification, because, again, we can dispute it and say it's a takings. It is a taking if it's interfering with our use as a private property owner. Our issue is there's been no
It
notification
won't be
regarding any of
filed-
this.
It won't be drilled until it is filed, because
Right.
Didn't you
nothing-
didn't you already say you drilled some time ago?
The town, we currently own an easement
Okay.
that runs from Progress Ave.
And that was where it was drilled, not on our private
comes out,
property.
comes out onto Fairview Ave, where, you know where it is. And it runs down Fairview Ave onto the public section of Fairview Ave and continues on to Webster. That is how our pipes have been there since,
Okay.
I believe they were there before
Right, but this would
before
be.
your
Okay.
folks
And so
bought
this
that property.
is, this additional
Those
drilling.
pipes have been there. And
is-
we 2 years ago, a year and a half ago, we went over there and we drilled 2-inch holes. They were about this big. And they patched them, and nobody even notices that they're there.
Yeah, exactly,
They're on the public road, they're on the private road.
right, but this particular issue right here, it's regarding the private property and drilling into that. So that's
And
different,
again-
and this is why it had to be done the way it's been done by reference to eminent domain, which it even says in the agenda, so.
Sure.
Again, those are our concerns for sure. I've tried to submit letters. I believe the property owners have submitted letters to the town, just completely ignored, so. Again, it's just numerous issues that need to be resolved here, so.
Okay. The folks that are doing the work are actually meet on Monday nights.
Grace Choinaki, the last drilling that you did, I talked to the drillers, it was done on our private road. One day I was going by and I saw these people drilling, we had no idea who they were working for, nothing, because the town never notified us.
Right,
And
and
you
then-
did, that's the prior ones before.
The
And that's
the
how
pri-
it expects us to
the
go and
prior
catch
ones,
up.
we've owned that easement, and we continue to own that easement. We owned
All the
that
way down
easement from
to
before you even bought the property.
Even past Paula Lane, all the way down.
All the way down, yes.
Mr. Chairman, Mr. Chairman,
We notified.
I need one
as the
person at a
owners.
time,
Okay,
because I can't take it all.
okay, one,
Easement is for the repair only, and not for the.
Yeah, I would actually question what the easement was, that was the repair of the property, regardless, Mom, that's been
The
done.
easement is for the repair only, per my husband, who did the road.
Yeah, there is that question about what the easement is actually granted for.
And that-
The repair and upkeep, because this isn't, if you're trying to install this, you whip up the road and install, a private road, it's just, yeah.
that, again, I'm not a legal expert, I don't know.
So, I don't understand is why is the town not notifying us on anything?
You'd have
Because
to
there
talk
is
to
a dispute,
them.
they're claiming we don't own the road, but we've been
Stop by.
plowing it for 30 years.
I stopped by the clerk's office, had a stamped letter. My husband brought the letter to the meeting, and they told him it was garbage, throw it out, they don't want it. So I don't understand what's going on.
I don't know anything.
I don't have to be a lawyer to come and question the town or request forms, in my understanding is, right?
No,
No, I don't. But then I'm being treated like I don't exist. I brought the letter with my husband, we stamped it, so the selectman would read it. Nobody responded to us, nothing. 2 years ago, when I was in the meeting here, I asked your secretary to set up a meeting with us, nothing.
Never.
you didn't meet with us.
Yeah, everything has to be done in writing.
You didn't meet with us, you didn't meet with the
No, we
water.
didn't, because nobody
you-
set up.
You met with the Board of Selectmen, if you met with
I-
anyone.
She was probably told that there's a meeting the first Wednesday of every month when the 5 of you meet, and that's the only time that she could speak to the 5 of you. She could not set up one-on-one meetings because it's not up to one of you to make decisions, it's up to a board of 5.
Right, I understand that.
Okay, all right.
But
That
why am
was-
I being ignored? That's what what I don't
We're not
understand.
ignoring
So,
you.
do I have to put everything in writing? Do I have to request a certified letter, or do I just show up, explain that to me? Do I show up to the clerk, bring her a letter, have her stamp it, and they can, I don't know, how do I get to talk to you guys? How do I get information from you guys?
For this project, you need to talk to the Board of Selectmen. At this point,
Right.
because
Board of Selectmen
once the
should finish going
engineering
this
is
3
done, once the engineering is done, then we will be brought in, it will be brought into us.
Sujo, jako nie mają prawa nie. Dlaczego?
So you can vote on everything before,
Yes,
you don't have to notify, nothing, you decide, right?
And then we have to go after the fact.
for eminent domain, yes.
Okay, then that's the one question I have.
But for eminent domain, we need notification. The property owner needs to be notified.
That's what, yeah,
I'm completely at a loss as to why there's been no, and you
Communication.
are disputing again, this goes back to the road, I appreciate your water, but it's been said, oh, you don't own the road. But then the town expects us to go and finish the road, that's the kicker, out of the goodness of our own heart, even though we don't own it, and you're going to go in, rip it up like you Warsaw Ave, which is a complete mess, and then we're expected to go in and repair it, right? That's
a
but we do own the
separate,
wrong.
That's a totally separate issue.
separate issue. This is.
it's also
this is-
connected to this because isn't,
No, I-
you're
We-
still
we-
doing
we-
takings to drill.
What this is doing
Holds
today
into
is to
not
allow
paying.
the engineering to move forward so we can know, is this a feasible project or not?
So I guess the issue is number
We
one.
don't know yet. We don't know what's under the road. We don't know what's, we don't have all of the information that is needed to make an informed decision.
Okay.
We
So-
will have that.
I know, I think there are two issues here regarding notification. Obviously, I've said that ad nauseum at this point. The second issue would be
ability
potential damages because,
We need to make sure that they're only speaking about this. There's only things
Okay,
that you have. but you-
we only have jurisdiction over this. That's it. All of this other stuff doesn't matter. And if you're gonna continue, for us as a water commission, we are concerned with public water. That's it. All of the other stuff that's involved is in somebody else's arena.
This eminent domain, where you're taking the road that you just talked about.
This
right?
temporary taking, yes.
taking-
We're not taking the road.
When will that happen? Before or after the town meeting?
I've been told that they will probably have all of their work done. It won't start until we file this, so it's not gonna get filed any,
they?
huh?
Who's they? Ty and Bond?
Town council.
They, for
You
what?
said they. You said they.
David, if you're gonna jump on every word I say, I can't continue.
I'm just getting to
And I'm not
pronouns.
going to
I'm just looking
continue.
for pronouns. Who are you talking about?
On what instant?
when will the drilling begin?
The drilling will begin after all of this is filed.
Which will be when?
After signatures are placed on it, the signatures have to be done in front of a notary. That's going to take time. In the motion, there was some assurances that we were needed to be given. Once we get those, it's going to take time. It will be after town meeting. But we've been told that once they get the go-ahead to start, they will have all of their work done within a couple of months, at the most.
I would like to request us being notified on everything, just to put in the meeting, Every letter, whenever, before your final decision comes, I think you should notify us, let us know what's going on, what are your plans?
Okay,
Should be notifying them anyway. It's
You
communication.
should be,
Town
but still.
council will be sending out notification to every person who is involved.
that's correct.
Once this motion has been filed.
Once it's
town
all been
council-
filed, everybody will get a copy of it. That's before any work is done.
Nie mają prawa.
And if this fails at town meeting, are you guys still taking the road to your probate?
Nie załatwione.
We're not
Yes.
taking the road.
We're not taking
It's
the
a-
road.
It's a
Okay, so
temporary.
if this fails at town meeting, if you don't get
taken.
funding for this
You're
water line
temporarily
project.
One at a time, please.
You're gonna take this road still, correct?
We're not taking the road. You want to hang on
temporarily
words, we're not
taking
taking
the
the
No,
road.
words are actually very important. You
We
are
are
temporarily
not
taking
taking
it.
the road.
No, it's
100%
temporary
taking the road.
taking.
We're done.
We're not done.
This meeting is adjourned. Done.
You can't make that decision.
Ja, tu.
I just want to
I'm not
clarify
going to go
again.
through this with you, David. I'm not going to do it.
Just answer the question, Scott.
You're trying to bait me into saying something.
Baiting here.
We're just trying to get clarification, which we have not.
We have given you all the clarification that we can give you.
Okay, I'm going to dispute your claim that it's not a taking, and that's all I have to say on that matter, because it's a
It's an order of
temporary
taking,
taking, which is a
form
taking.
presented to take an easement. It's not to take the road. It's
I
to take
appreciate
an
that. I know it's a temporary
temporary.
taking, temporary taking.
Okay, it's a temporary taking, and if you dispute the value of that, then you can take it up with the lawyers, as you know. You know the process.
Excuse me.
As do you
You
apparently,
guys
so.
will be sued as a separate entity. You understand that, right?
Let's just go.
It'd
All right.
be the water board.
I can be sued for anything at any time.
I understand.
All right. That's all I have to say.
Are you ready for that? Are you ready for this?
I have 4 years of experience with the town,
I am already.
so. All right, well, thank you for your time.
Have a good night.
You as well.
Thank you.
You got good insurance?
Can I ask you a question though, off thing? People who own the properties in Dudley, right?
Right.
So do I have a right to go on anybody's property and dig up without their permission? I thought that nobody could do that. I'm not, I know my daughter's a lawyer, but I'm not. But I don't understand. So if we own the road, you don't come to us to get permission first before? I know you said chapter 40. I have no idea what that chapter states. But I just don't understand it, because if I'm, in my yard, I wouldn't want my neighbor to come and dig up holes in my yard, because I wouldn't give them permission. But then the way it sounds like you can come and do it anyway, the neighbor can come and do it to me. I don't understand that law. How can that law? I don't know.
It's a mass,
I'm no expert on the law.
I'm not either, but that's, I mean, basically,
No, I'm thinking you vote. You know
okay,
what?
thank you.
You vote.
This temporary taking, is that just the road? Or are you temporarily taking their condos that they tie into Joseph Street where you have to go through their property?
It's,
You say you vote.
no, it's the road, it's all on the roadway.
Yeah, to tie in, we're not doing a tie-in. That'll be a further thing down the road.
No.
So further
It's-
down-
It's on the roadway.
So further down the road, that's a separate taking
For what?
for going through their property.
The culvert,
From Joseph
under
Street
the-
to
under the
Fairview Ave,
culvert.
You have to go down the cliff, under the river,
Under the river, right?
through their property.
Okay. That will, that's, yeah, that's further down the road. They're not,
That's not part of this.
they're not gonna be, no.
Okay. That was my only question.
next on the agenda?
Okay, nope. We have a motion and a second. We don't have a vote yet. So we have motion and a second. Any further discussion? All right, I'll call it to a vote. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain? Okay, registered as 5-0.
Can I get the copy of that after? Thank you.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Review of town meeting warrant and discussion. Okay, on the town meeting warrant, we have 3 questions. Our questions are 9, 10, and 11. That's all the financial questions that were brought up before. 2 of them were for budget, and 1 of them is to cover engineering costs, correct?
Yes.
That's what they were.
They're going to look for you to make the motions.
Right. They didn't, they're going to defer to us, so that's fine. I'll make the motion. 9 is $100,000 for, well, actually, it says what it is, for the Potash Brook Intercenter. 10 is for $150,000 to retained earnings, from retained earnings for design services. And then number 11, $170,000, and that's for true-up with Webster. Those are our 3 articles. And then the one question that I wanted to bring up here, just so that we can all make sure we're all on the same page, is Article 6. Currently, I'm sorry, I'm gonna move that. It's an article to change Chapter 74 of the Dudley bylaws, and that's to allow the personnel director, who currently is the town administrator, to negotiate and enter into employment agreements with department heads, non-union sworn police officers, and the assistant and deputy fire chiefs. Currently, and it's listed as a police and fire thing, but I got caught on the words department heads. Right now, we have statutory authority for hiring, firing, reviewing, and
Salary.
salaries of the superintendent and the administrative assistant. I haven't been able to ask them, is that taking that, are we giving up that by allowing this to continue?
I would recommend that you prepare
An amendment?
an amended article to present on town floor that excludes water and sewer employees.
Okay. So we'll have to. Okay. All right. All right, I don't know, does anybody else have any opinions on that? I caught that the other night when they were going over the warrant. I just wanted to make sure we were all on the same page. Nothing else on that has anything to do with water sewer concerns. Oh, draft sewer assessment. Okay, the next is a draft sewer assessment. Did everybody get a chance to read it?
Yes.
I will be honest, I did not. I did read it when it was a draft a while back, when it first came into our office, but I know they made some changes, and I'll be honest, since we got that, since Jen sent that out, I have not had a chance to read it, but I
This time
will defer to.
There was a couple of sections that kind of wanted for comment.
Yep.
Yes.
That they, yeah, and I remember that, and I
were
pointed that out a couple of months ago. Did they get the comments that they needed?
I get some feedback from that. Yeah, I think they're happy with that, unless there's something else that came up that I'm
There
missing.
was one that was looking for a comment from us. What's the one?
I didn't print the whole thing.
Huh? Oh, no, it's 400 and some odd pages.
Why it's not opening?
You weren't able to open it?
No,
Oh, okay.
still trying.
So they need to finish that up by, what'd they say, the end of June?
Yeah, June 25th.
We still have a little bit of time, but I don't want to leave them last minute. Oh, you got it?
Yeah, the question for the town, provide cost share percentage for Webster wastewater treatment project that Dudley is responsible for. What's our capital contribution to Webster's?
17%.
Yeah.
Oh, well, yeah, oh, yeah, we're,
Then additionally, does Webster share project list with Dudley?
That's the meeting, well, in the past, we haven't, but we've come to those agreements that we'll meet in January, beginning of the year, to go over their capital, which we did this year.
We hadn't been doing that for a long time, but we are doing it now.
Yeah, just looking for a copy of that, from that comment.
Okay.
And then the other one, this one here. Continuing in-kind service for manhole inspections.
Yes,
We're
that-
doing that.
That might have been it,
I
actually.
do have a question.
yeah, I know there were like 4 or 5 at one point, and so they got some of them off, and there's still a couple more.
Then they just need FY '22 and FY '24 revenues.
Sent that the end of last week.
Okay, so that's been answered, okay.
And those are the only three
Yeah.
things that they were.
It's all in the
comments.
beginning, the rest of it is all September data.
Yep.
I did have a question on that. I know you brought up that you keep having someone from Ty and Bond come out and do some of the investigative work. Is that under the contract that we have with them, or are they looking for a contract to do that work?
They, as I understand it, they had a contract for sanitary, the SSO and the Interceptor.
Part of that package would be I&I.
They've been working that, but I believe that they hit,
thought
we've hit,
Well-
I think we've hit 100% on that.
That's what I thought. That's why I was questioning.
Yeah,
Are we paying them time and material, or what, how are we? Because anytime you call them, they're gonna wanna get paid. I know they don't work without a contract.
they're trying to also work out the fact to find out any possible I&I other than that big project to.
Oh, I
Yeah,
understand.
well-
that. I just, do we have a
Well,
contract to
right-
do this work?
Right now, we don't have, I believe the Interceptor contract has hit 100%. What they're kind of working on, trying to get a grant for sewer,
Right, to do some additional work.
to do some additional work, and they'll know about that. I think he said it was like an August, September, October time period when that drops, and that, and kind of in a holding pattern until then, unless we put up some more money.
That's my question. So I know that doesn't come out till August or
Right.
October. The work that they're doing now, what is that being done under? Is that just under our general budget? Is that-
I haven't seen anything from them.
Yeah, they don't usually send us, usually send us anything for time and materials. So there's nothing at
I
this
haven't seen
point.
anything coming, like, I know what you're talking about. I
Yeah,
haven't
we're
seen
still calling
anything.
them to come out and do work. They must, I mean, I just don't wanna get a bill.
I haven't gotten anything about, it's Paul Smith, right?
Yeah.
I haven't gotten anything about, any bills about him coming out or anything at this time.
But before we get bills, do we understand where the money's coming from to pay them? Because they're not cheap.
Right. Well, we have not had anything, I'm pretty sure we hit it just, one of the last vouchers we
The
signed.
I is, yeah.
For that Interceptor engineering. I believe it was 40-something thousand dollars, I believe.
Yeah, but
I
Paul's-
believe we've hit
Paul's-
100%.
Paul's coming out for I, right?
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
What are we paying them under for that work?
I got nothing left in I.
I think that's.
But we did, Brian had mentioned that we found a previous article that relates
That's
to
right.
I for 21,000. That was previous, that had nothing to do with this, that we could utilize that.
It's an article, but then we sign a contract.
No, but as in relation to time bond, there is no contract that I know of.
Can
I
we
haven't seen
find
anything.
out either through them if they're just billing us the hourly rate, or
Okay.
if we need contract work?
Okay, so is there any reason, anything, those 3 requests,
That's the only three things that they were asking comment from the board.
is there anything that can't be provided to them of those 3? It was,
No. I'll get it over to him.
okay. Anything else there? Request from the Board of Selectmen.
So this was a verbal request. And I asked for something in writing, but I have not received anything in writing. When we were making up the paper templates for connection for the Eagle Drive, the prices were left on. And I was approached and asked, can I take the prices off? And I said, no. I said, the board hasn't voted on anything to waive any fees or anything. I said, nor have they been asked to that I'm aware of. And she said, oh, well, we'll have to, and I said, well, could you please have something sent over in writing, just so I could move forward? I had put it on the agenda. I have not received anything in writing. I just am putting it out there to you. I had put it on the agenda, so that's why, thinking I would get something, but I haven't.
So we pass over.
That would be my, pass that over until, there's gotta be some discussion, something in writing. I don't feel comfortable even discussing anything that
That's why I asked for it in
we
writing.
don't have, okay. Oh, we're moving. Tie and bond correspondence.
So-
We just recently got
The emails that were put into were the Dudley Bates Road pressure study update, the Dudley PFAS water main closeout update, and Dudley sewer items update. Those are the three
I've got
emails.
a question on the Bates Road. Yeah, because everything that they're proposing is not a cheap solution, so I don't know how that satisfies DEP.
Well, the DEP's looking at it right now, that we're making progress.
We're making progress. We're moving forward.
We're getting an engineer involved to start the processes of identifying how we can correct this problem. And that's what Jeff and I talked about it. He said that's enough to satisfy them for now to keep, as long as we move forward a little bit, here a little bit, a little bit.
That was my concern, is we were addressing
Yeah.
this because of DEP.
Yeah.
Then the solutions I'm looking at are
Oh, yeah.
they're not cheap.
I see stuff in there about fire flows, and the fire flows don't concern me in this. This is strictly a regulatory requirement to meet the 20 PSI.
Right. But, did everybody get a chance to look at those? Did you get a chance to look at those, Sean?
Not fully, no.
No. There were three proposals, one to put a new booster station at the Bates Road tank. The second one was to
Extend the Tanyard Road booster pump
go from the
station.
10-yard booster station and come around the corner and boost that area as well, put that area onto the high pressure zone. And the third one was to put up another tank, put up a Dudley golf ball.
There's a fourth one that's new.
And then the fourth one was
Extend
a
the-
smaller area, yes.
Extend the Tanyard Road booster pump service station area.
But cutting off going across West Main Street over to the Lions Road area. Right. So, I mean, that's what's coming at us. I mean, they're giving us, at this point, I believe that was just an update. They're still working everything. And in that, there's a lot of information about current pressures and what the new pressure, what the projected new pressures would be.
I apologize.
What,
In answer to your question, on the end of the sewer report, bridging the gap between May 2025 and the potential SSO grant, based on our conversations with the sewer department, there's a desire to continue and not fully waiting for the grant to proceed with these efforts. If the sewer commissioners would like, we can provide a proposal for continuing to assist the town on an as-needed basis over the next several months,
I read something somewhere.
Yes.
and also
Okay.
help to the town to
Thank
apply
you.
for the SSO grant. Please let us know how you'd like to proceed. I knew there was something they wanted.
And I know you keep calling people out to work on stuff, I'm surprised they're coming out to work without having some kind of contract.
I think they're right at the end of,
So would you like a
Okay.
proposal? Do you want them?
yes. And the continuation of the, or the finishing off of the
PFAS water main.
PFAS water main project. There's a meeting scheduled for 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock.
10 o'clock on
10 o'clock Friday morning.
So George,
It's a phone call.
the question for George into this is, the Eagle Drive project, when they're doing that project and they start flushing, is that gonna, does that come from the base tank? And that-
More from our station areas down in Schofield Ave.
That's
Bates
only-
tank, I don't think is gonna really, well, if they connected by Gentex, yes, but I'm talking just regularly now, no. It's
Well, if it's
mainly,
connected in any way and the pumps aren't on, it's coming
I
from
mean,
pressure from Bates tank, right?
there'll be some flow down from there, yeah. If the stations aren't running, but they're usually running.
So if they're not running and they're doing flushing of these mains, it's gonna affect our pressure up in this area.
We're talking about, with the addition of,
Well, just when you're doing water main stuff, they.
down
they-
on the
They run a
yes.
massive amount of water through
Right.
to flush the mains out, to chlorinate them and flush it out. Just that whole process.
Okay, I see, I know what you're
Pulls a
talking
ton of flow, and when you're doing that, we're gonna drop the pressures in these areas even lower. So I have a little bit of a concern, and maybe that should be addressed as part of that Eagle Drive project, how we're gonna alleviate the issue of pressure in this area when they're doing that project. You see what I'm saying?
Yes. So that's road, that's a ways down the road, but yeah,
Yeah, just I wanna make sure they're aware that this project
will impact.
have effects on the system in other areas that we already see are a problem, and then just gonna exacerbate that problem, so.
Okay, anything else on the time bond? Okay, sign the superintendent's review. Jen compiled all of our inputs into a finished product. There's just one copy.
Just one copy.
There's just one copy
That you each have
for
to sign
signatures.
on.
We all have to sign it. I don't know if folks want to read through it before they sign it, or probably a good idea. But it's here. It needs signatures from the five of us.
You need to sign Jen's as well?
Huh?
Mine's next.
Yep, that's the next lot,
You
next
have
agenda
to
item.
also decide what you want to do with me.
Yep. So that's,
Does it have to be signed tonight, or do you want it?
because, not that we don't trust, the, make sure we get a chance to look at it.
Yep,
And then we can-
absolutely.
Okay, we're gonna,
I thought I sent it out, but I thought I emailed it out to everybody.
no, I haven't seen it. This last week has been
It was
absolutely nuts.
2 weeks ago, but that's okay. You should know better.
All right, so take a chance to read that, and then this will be in a folder to sign. And then the review for Jen.
I sent
That's in
that
front of
out
us. That's
to
been
you, but
sent out, that was sent out to her. I did read through it.
Yep,
When it was sent out.
and I have the original here, George, that you have to sign it for me, and I have to sign it, but
The
they also-
signatures on that will be between George and between the superintendent and the administrative assistant. But it's for our review and for our knowledge. And then with that being finished up, yeah, this was done back in February. It's been sitting,
Yeah,
okay, so,
you had a few other things going on.
right. But, and then I guess the question comes up to compensation. that, so I read through it, you know, if I were to add anything, it would just be, it would be more of the same in every, I didn't see anything that I disagreed with in it, so. But we have the authority and responsibility to set compensation rates, so at that point, what's the, not that it really is germane to this, but what was the, has the town done any, what has
Oh,
the town
God, no.
done? No?
No. Nope.
Okay.
Brian?
Not, like I said, not that it's germane to our discussion, but,
Nope.
and nor should it really be, to be honest. But, is there any, we have budgeted both of the line items that we have for up to, what, 5%?
Yep.
We have the ability to go up 5%, as much as 5%, within the budget. Does,
Is it 5 and 5 for a total of 10?
No, just 5. Yep. I'll take it, though, if you want to give it.
what do you mean by 5 and 5?
Each side, yes.
Oh, no, it's,
Sorry.
we budgeted, it's a 5% increase on both sides.
It is 5 and 5, but it's, yeah.
It's 5 total.
It's 5 total.
It's 5 on half and 5 on half. That's what that's about.
Yeah. So,
The overall performance rating was exceed.
yes. Does anybody, is there a motion?
Yes, George, if he had any input or anything
Oh.
he wants to say since he did.
Yeah, actually, George, you did do the review. Was there,
Does a great job, always under a lot of pressure, always got tons of stuff piling on her.
She can
Oh.
handle it.
Well, yeah,
Appreciate it.
That's okay.
very good.
I mean, even tonight, she produced documentation for things, you know, just, oh, yeah, here it is, you know, without even asking. So, I've never,
I know what you're gonna be looking for, see?
get out
Should
of,
be scared.
get out of my head, yes, no kidding. No, it's just been, no, anticipating, well, I know I've had times when I've been sitting in the office talking to someone on the phone about whatever. There have been a couple of different occasions where I've been having a conversation with someone about something, and I turn around and say, hey, Jen, can you? And she turns around and hands it to me. And it's just like that, just, I mean,
Especially if you're talking to Bob, I can hear.
yeah. Yeah, she's heard through the cell phone, yeah. But in any case, that's, is there a motion now, or do we want to hold off on it, or what's the flavor, what's the wish of the board?
When could we make it effective? Is it fiscal year bound, or is it,
It'll be effective July 1st
so?
for fiscal year '26.
I'd make a motion that for fiscal year 26, we give the administrative assistant a 5% raise.
Okay, there's a motion, is there a second?
Second.
Okay, motion's been made and seconded. Any further discussion? Comments? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed? Abstentions? 5-0.
Thank you very much. I
With
do
more-
enjoy my job.
With more money comes more responsibility, so we'll be expecting more.
About 5% more.
5% more, yes.
Are you gonna be in there on Wednesdays now, too?
Yeah, there you go.
Because that deserves a lot more than that.
George, so if you need her in the hole,
Yep. I've offered. I go out to the digs and make sure they're okay. I do, I check on them. Even the midnight ones, 2 in the morning ones.
So, when we'll finish up with superintendents next month, next meeting. Or if it comes before that, if we have
Whenever.
to call it, budget review. Getting to the end of the budget. We're at, I think 90%. Oh, 85%. Why are some of them over?
Which ones? Let's see.
Most of them are at like 80,
Yep,
83, 84, 81.
Yep.
And then we've got 35 is, secondary.
yeah,
That
that's
was-
because one was,
That
yep.
was because he was out.
Yep.
But secondary operator
Because-
sewers, because we have 2 people.
Right, and so we pulled from that, and now we're pulling from Maine, that's all.
Okay, yeah.
That's the only
Yeah,
reason.
we have 2 people in that
Yep.
particular level. All right. So, wow.
We got the numbers from
are we gonna put it
the
like
town
secondary?
auditor's report.
Yeah, I do have, let me, 1 second, I apologize. Those are all up to date,
What's up to date?
like the indirects, the.
Okay,
Those are all up to date with what I've gotten so far, and all of that. I'm sorry, Tom, what did you?
We're gonna put like in the future, like secondary operator 1 and then.
Yes,
Okay.
it'll have separate lines.
Okay.
Well, there'll be, 2 secondary. 2 operators.
okay. At the back of each budget, at the end of each budget, you see the capital line items, and you'll be able to see that I, Article 17 from whatever year it was for I construction. There's still 21,000 left in it. So
Right.
that's the money that we can use it for similar service, similar expenses. So that's what we're using now for the any I work that we're bringing anybody in on. And the revenues report on the front is still the one that you generate?
Yes.
So we're not getting any kind of a,
Vic, can you make it smaller?
I'll try next time.
add 2 or 3 more columns.
Absolutely.
Shrink it down.
Yeah.
Yeah. More columns you put on the page, the smaller they get. So we're still not getting any kind of a
Not at this
revenues
time.
report from,
Not at this time.
Are we still asking?
Yes.
Okay.
And we're going to be working with the accountant after budget to get some access to different things on Vadar that I can see that she has.
okay. Any questions or concerns on budget review? Okay. Old business. Anybody have any old business to bring up? Okay. Superintendent's report.
Aside from road repairs that need to get done, which we've been having trouble with getting some of it done, but it's hard, but most of it's I in the sewer, correcting problems over there. We're gonna be working with Nichols soon to try to identify what's going on there, and apparently Chase Ave is still a problem. We're trying to get into some areas where there's manholes that are all overgrown and maybe having problems, and it's a very hard area to get into. So we're gonna try to see if we can work on that. Pump station, the Patterson Ave, the station itself was corrected, we had a problem. That's fixed, so that's working normal now. but there's still infiltration coming in there, which has to be addressed, so gonna be looking to see if we could possibly line half that road and maybe epoxy up that manhole as one of the projects to come down the pike. And the other stuff's ongoing right now, but I think we can get the Nichols College issue nipped in the bud, providing we can pinpoint exactly what's going on there, and that's gonna be coming up shortly. And the other stuff down Jericho and that is ongoing, trying to check that out, but the problem we're having is grease. A lot of grease is coming down the pipe to the siphon. I did talk to Paul regarding the issues there. There's not much we can do with this. He says we're really not gonna touch the siphon. He says it would just change everything out there and make it worse. So we have to just do the best we can to try to keep jetting at that. We have gone there a lot, but winter time is gonna be an issue when we can't get the jetter in there. But I've checked with the schools, I've checked with different things, trying to find out where the grease is coming from. It's hard to say. It's just an area people are cooking. It all covers that whole Jericho area. So, we'll keep doing the best we can. More jetting to come over.
Have you thought of cameraing back to find out where, at some point, it's gotta be coming off of some.
Well,
coming
right
from all
now, we
directions.
need to clean everything up. We're still working on that, we just, that's our next thing. As soon as, I got unfortunately, guys are taking vacations now, and this is the problem on the water side, getting the asphalting done. MJ's got problems with his guys, he's only got a couple guys, so he can't merge with us to get all that done, so I'm trying to get all the main stuff we need to get done first, and then we're gonna go jet crazy out there, see if we can clean everything up best we can, and then we can do some cammering in that once we get through that. So.
Okay, any questions or concerns on the superintendent?
George, the pile of dirt you got down there, is it staying there?
The pile of dirt.
Down at the,
Primary station? Down,
across from Marty's?
Oh, that's not our dirt, that's G&G's dirt. The big pile there, our dirt's, we're on our shop area. Their big pile is that.
Yeah, that's all
them.
G&G stuff.
That's
With the-
G&G.
The one with the truck sitting on top of
I
it?
thought that was,
That's G&G.
We hauled a
stuff.
lot of our stuff out of our parking area back then, but now we're adding to it with slop and stuff from the main breaks we've added, but
but the G&G.
G&G has got the big pile with the loader
is
on
that
top.
our land?
That's on town land, but they're in the process of milling that and getting it out.
No, Scott, that land, our land ends at the wall, right where the wall is, right where they're doing their thing. That's owned by the two parties.
Oh, actually, that's right.
Yeah.
That's.
So
the
they got
only thing.
permission there from somebody there, I remember a while back, to make that a base of operation, and that's what they've been doing right there. So, but they said they would take some of our stuff out too once but they got so much going on. They got a long way to go. It's, we'll be buried up again before long.
Is that an allowed activity in your zone one?
Just outside of, it's private property there, we can't really, there was an arrangement made there, so, I don't
It's
know.
in the zone one, we can't. Yeah.
If they're working on getting rid of it, let's put it that way, so.
So have we looked at that? Because that station was a tubular well field, which has a 250 foot
50,
zone one, and you changed it to a drill well.
Yeah, there was an arrangement there years ago that
But-
if
but
Rio cleaned up.
What's the zone one, required zone one for a
400 feet.
400 feet? And
You're just shy of doubling it. So we should probably look at that and see
see what area
what encompasses
we need
the area
to
of
have to,
the zone one to make sure there's no unauthorized activities in that area.
right. Oh, God, that's gonna get out to the post office and into the fire department.
And there's 3 wells, so you have to do the 400-foot radius around each one.
Each one
so
of
it's
them,
not
right.
gonna be a-
And that's gonna get back,
It's gonna
that's gonna get back to,
zoning.
that's gonna get back into the beach area as well. Okay, yeah, that's actually,
We need to look at that, and then as part of the offer for protection, we keep talking about some changes maybe.
Do you want to keep moving forward? I mean, we're working slowly on it. Do you want to keep moving on it to make presentations for
On
the
the
next fall,
aquifer protection,
for the next fall meeting?
well, that's,
zone one.
we know I want to move forward with that, I mean, It's not my decision. It's up
It has to go
the
to town meeting, and it has to be an open hearing.
Okay,
and
yep.
all that stuff. I mean, I
Yep.
told Joe, go ahead, proceed, just slowly
Okay.
get it moving, so we're prepared for it.
All right, anything? Public comments, we actually have. David, go ahead.
So George, that was the 11-4 Board of Selectmen meeting, minute marker 53 that I was talking about earlier when you were saying that they're unresponsive. My question though, my public comment is, this water filtration system on New Boston Road that you guys put in, 12 million bucks, what exactly is that? Is that a big giant poet that these people have in their houses right now, combating the PFAS? Or-
It's so actually, the station down there is 6 million. But that is a filtration system.
So
It's got
really
twin tanks.
granular activated carbon system that all,
carbon system, so exactly like the poets that they're installing in these.
essentially just a lot larger.
So
A larger
what
lot
you guys
more.
are doing is taking your PFAS water, because it's still testing hot, right, George?
No,
Before, I mean,
The raw
before,
water.
the raw
Raw,
dog and
yeah.
water coming in is
Right.
testing hot.
Yeah.
So you're filtering that just like these people would at their houses if they had a poet system in their basement, correct?
correct.
And instead of them traveling through the water lines and all that, it's just going right to their house. It's in their house already. So why would people want to tie into your water? Why would I, as someone that could get a poet system, want to be your customer?
No need to pay, no need to maintain all of that. No need to maintain wells. no
Maintenance
need
isn't
to-
much. $60 for a PFAS test. We don't have to have it tested by a DEP-approved site, so it's only $60. This guy from Safeco was telling me exactly where to go.
Mr. Chairman?
You also have, we have,
Chlorine?
no longer needing to maintain a well, maintain. There's
not much maintenance for a well.
If you're pulling out of a well and you're not having it tested annually, and you're not
I
going
get
through
mine
all of
tested
that, you really.
quarterly almost.
Huh?
I get mine tested semi-annually now.
Okay.
But also,
As
you
should I.
mentioned that the chlorine has to make it all the way to the end of the line, which is down in Airport Road?
The end of the line
Airport, I
is
didn't mean airport, I
Mill
mean,
Mill Road. Railroad Ave.
Road, okay. And this heavy chlorination, this water for Eagle Drive, that's gonna be coming from where Joseph Street is, correct?
Fairview Ave
Yeah.
will be
it
one
would-
spot,
it
Eagle
would come
Drive will
up-
be another
It would either
spot.
come up from New Boston Road or Fairview Ave, or if we loop through Gentex, it would be coming down from that side.
Gentex now, you're saying you're gonna be looping through Gentex? What's the cost on that?
We don't know that, that's
We don't
why
know
we're,
if
that's
that's
why we're
gonna be
having it
done yet?
engineered. That's why we add in those, the looping there, the looping on Joseph, we add those on, find
that's
out
going
what the
through-
cost is, and then we make a decision, can we bear that cost?
That would be going through wetlands. What if there's a water main break in the wetlands?
If it's wetlands and you're adding water, it just makes it wetter.
Clean up the
Wouldn't
wetlands for sure.
wouldn't the swamp be seeping into your water supply?
No.
If there's a water main break?
Only
No,
if the-
because
only
the
if the
pressure,
pressure drops below 20 PSI.
pressure's coming out, not going in. Water's coming out, not going in. That water's under pressure.
But if you had to fix it, how would you get to that point? You would have to go through people's yards, through people's properties?
You go to wherever it's broken.
If it's broken, like literally in the middle between Eagle Drive and Gentex where there's a swamp? How would you get there, I guess my
Through
question
the
is?
easement.
Huh?
Through the easement, from one direction to the other.
From Eagle Drive or from Gentex? Would you be
don't
going
need-
through this guy's property
Either
or?
direction.
Huh?
Either direction.
Okay,
That's
How
what an
does the
easement
customer
is.
get their house service going through property? Same basic way. You have to get the best access to get to where you need to do and do the job.
You use,
Right,
that's
but
what
this
it
is a
is.
water main break in someone's backyard.
We've had water main breaks in backyards, we have water main breaks in woods. I mean,
Yeah,
it's
that's
a
what
fact
I'm
of life, but they put the water mains. You get to it, you do your job, same way you do in the street, no different.
So we could isolate that main, that would be the purpose. It's a loop, so that's why we like loops. We can isolate a section that minimizes any water outages for any of the customers. You isolate that loop and you follow all the protocols that we would need to, being in a wetland.
Gotcha. Would you, I mean, say it's like 2 o'clock in the morning, you'd just be going through these people's property?
No,
No.
that's why I said, that section that would be going through properties, we'd have valves on each side, so we could isolate that section without, if there's a break at
Turn it
2
off.
o'clock in the morning, we'll
Isolate it.
shut it off.
We've had many times, and get ready and be ready to go at 8 o'clock in the morning
Plan the
when it's
project.
more reasonable to do it. We try not to be
Right.
as least disruptive as we can.
And going down Joseph Street, that cliff, or like
Through
20-foot
the-
drop,
Through the culvert, yeah.
it would go, how would you do that? You dig in? Huh?
Go under it,
Under,
under the culvert. There's ways to do it. There's directional drilling.
I'm talking about the cliff at the bottom of Joseph Street that goes down where you connect.
It's a culvert, yes. I've been down there. I've seen it. I know it's steep.
Okay. I think that was, oh yeah, what is the process for people like me that are planning on tying into you guys? What's the process to get our water bills abated? Because this isn't our fault that the town polluted our water.
That's not a question for us.
You guys are the people that would abate.
We
You
would.
you guys are the only people that have authority, right?
And right now, our policy is if the water goes through the meter, it gets billed.
No, I'm saying like
We don't
before there's ever a meter, before any of this, like you abated, we won't say their names, but the two people that you abated.
We made it, that was the compensation that we made for
Right, so-
allowing us to run our main through their property.
What's the policy for us people on the road to get that abated too? You're going through our property, you're messing up our road, our
That's not for, at this point, it's way early for
who
talking about that.
would be the person to talk to then? John Fruder?
The Board of Selectmen,
Water
right,
board.
right now, huh?
You guys are the only people that can abate, correct?
Right, that's right, right now, and the only abatements that are made by this board is the cemeteries,
Yeah, I'm all right.
the Little League,
Those two people.
and that arrangement. That's it. We don't abate any other, do we have any other? We don't have any other abatements.
How did
We-
those two people-
We have on occasion abated portions of bills for different reasons on a case-by-case basis. But
Only-
our policy with water is that if the water goes through the meter, it's billed.
Yeah, no, I've seen.
I've been
I've seen-
burnt by it. I know others sitting at the table have
So that
not
means-
necessarily
yeah.
burnt, but we got a bill.
That's another good
Maybe.
point they bring up. If like, say I have a running toilet right now.
Right.
And I tie into you guys, and my toilet's running. Then I pay for that, right?
Yep.
And you guys don't have any history of my water bill or my water usage, so that would be like normal usage for you guys, right? You would think that that's my normal usage.
Standards.
There are standards that are
Those
a
protocols.
family of four will use on average a certain amount of water.
And we talked about this after one of these meetings, about one of the private meetings, I think it was, about people that have irrigation systems.
Right.
You said the annual cost was $1,000-ish?
Ish,
Well, that's what he told me.
yeah. That would depend on how many sprinklers there are.
Right.
And how often and how long you run them.
And that's
is
it.
how much water you use.
That's added to whatever their bill is?
That would be over and above a standard bill. I didn't bring the paperwork in without my car. I have, anybody here knows, when that question came up, I pulled my bill, because it's two people over 60.
Right.
That's probably about the lowest you're gonna see.
And yeah,
I pulled
Tom's
his
bill too, yeah.
because his bill is a family of 4 adults and a home daycare. So that's probably about the highest you're gonna see.
What about his bill? He's got a lot of kids.
I didn't think about his, I just thought about,
Do you know your bill on average, like yearly, or?
but the thing
Estimate?
is, these bills are water and sewer, and I took and did the math to figure out my water bill, my water-only bill is under $500 a year. His
You
is
said it was
about-
$800 a year.
His was about $800.
I thought you showed me yours was 800 too.
His was 800.
That may have been water and sewer.
No, mine is, no, it's a 45-55 split. 45% of the bill is water, 55% is sewer. That's about the way it falls.
Good. Yeah, so you guys have any info on this Gentex cost sharing agreement
Nothing.
in dark too?
We're not involved in it.
How about this, oh yeah, you said you guys are gonna still move forward with taking, or
With
temporarily
with
taking?
the engineering, because we can't make sound decisions if we don't have good information.
Right, but if it fails at town meeting, what's the point of moving forward with engineering of it?
We gotta get the engineering in order to have numbers to present to the board, to the residents for town meeting. So we'll go through that
You're saying that,
process.
And-
wait, whoa, you're saying that it was done after, you're saying it's gonna be done after town meeting?
What do you mean?
So how are you gonna get the information before town meeting?
Town meeting is an ask to borrow up to 14.2 million. Okay, 14.2, actually, I got the agenda here. So we're 14.2 million. That's the maximum.
Yeah. But we're talking about just the grant alone.
So, no, this is not a grant, this is a loan. This is a loan
You're
purchase.
talking about the design.
And yeah, the design grant.
Design and the temporary easement to do the boring.
That's already funded.
That's what you're speaking about, right?
The design is already funded. That's through the grant.
Right, but you haven't spent that money yet. Obviously, you haven't done the work, so I would hope you haven't spent
No,
that
we've
money.
spent-
No, some of the work's done,
yes.
that's showing where they need to do the boring.
Some of it is done, yes.
Okay,
They're in the process of doing it now.
gotcha.
So, but that, just for clarification and for folks know, that 14.2 million,
I think it's gonna be
yeah.
closer to 18. If you include
there is
bottom
cost
line.
sharing on that. And there is,
We don't know that, though.
Principal
there is.
forgiveness.
And there is also, principal forgiveness. Principal forgiveness runs between, we were
remember.
told, between 9.9 and 30%. The way it worked out, you cited the number earlier about that project over there of, what was it, 14 million?
They're saying
I think you said
14.2 million.
12, okay,
I
so
think you
12,
said 12 for the treatment.
for the water treatment.
For the water, yeah, that's what we borrowed, right? That's what the
Well,
SRF
we-
loan was.
That's
we
what
were-
we authorized at town meeting.
We will authorize 12 million.
So for these projects, you have to get the full cost appropriated at town meeting. It doesn't mean we're gonna spend all that.
With forgiveness.
So with principal
And with
forgiveness.
not spending all of the money, the total loan at the end ended up being somewhere around in the vicinity of 8. So we have to ask for the 12.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean we have to spend it, and we didn't spend it. We cut about a third off of that. And that included the well, the new treatment plant, and the water main running back and forth to
All the
Station
stations.
1. So
Okey dokey.
there's a lot to it.
This was a fun meeting. Thank you guys for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, board comments. Anybody have anything? Anybody? Okay, all right,
I'll second it.
okay, all in favor? Aye. Let it be noted that it's 4 to... He said no. We make it 4-1. And